Hello everyone, I hope you are doing well and having fantastic time. Sorry for the long delay. I have been quite busy with life, and once I have some time I just want to give you this review. So today in today's video I will be reviewing this robot called Quantum King MT4. This has been demanded for quite some time, and it seems to be many people are interested in this robot, the Quantum King. So this is with the same vendor who created Quantum Queen, and it was quite successful robot. I know the method and the strategies of this vendor is a bit controversial, but nonetheless it does actually work for the long term. So in this robot it works only on Australian dollar and Canadian. The reason why I see over the time and in my experience working with the robot, many martingale and great EA are focusing on this pair because this is quite stable pair for the ranging market for the short-term strategies, because what this vendor claims that this is a hybrid method with adaptive control. For the broker you can use any broker, but my recommendation is always work with ECN, reliable and regulated broker, to avoid any excessive losses or at least to get an advantage. The time frame is M5. The vendor is already using on the live account, so we will also watch, we will see and analyze the signal. The minimum deposit I recommend to work at least $300. The EA is gonna open multiple and single trade at a time, so we will see what this robot is about. Now guys, as you can see, the Quantum King is basically the vice versa of Quantum Queen. The Quantum Queen was working with gold and this one is working with Forex pair. So what this Quantum King about? The vendor in his description claiming that this is a structured, great and intelligent of adaptive martingale into one system, designed for this Forex pair only and built for professional and beginners. So it doesn't matter if you are a beginner or professional, you can still use this robot, but the risk factor, this is something we're going to talk about later on. The recovery logic of martingale, that means the robot is using a grid of trade. How many grid or how many trade, that we don't really know. It uses martingale when the price is going against your favor, and it will open or double the lot size to recover it and to close the trade. This is basically the main idea about this robot. So this robot is fully automated. It is hybrid with adaptive control for beginner and professional alike. Works with small deposit. He recommend 200. I would say 300 to 500 is always better, and using 0.01 lot size. This is for your safety because he claimed that this is optimized for long-term stability and capital preservation and easy to install and everything like that. So what we will do, this is the account recommendation that you need to use, but as I said that 500 is much better. ECN is recommended, so you need to gain some advantage at least when using different robots. If we focus on the live result for this robot, what we can see here is that actually the profit seemed to be promising, and he started with 100 US dollar and made multiple deposit throughout his account and also did withdrawals, so his total profit is around 332 USD. The maximum drawdown is 15% and the total growth is 122. So if you compare the gain with the drawdown, I think that's fair enough. However, the problem is with some of the vendors, they will conduct multiple deposits, so you don't know why he deposited at that time. Maybe the deposit that he started was quite low and that's why he increased it multiple times. So the average holding time is 21 hours, which is, we can say this is a swing robot because it is more than 1 or 3 hours. For the table of the monthly revenue, you can see on August he started with 7.41, September 23%, October 30%, that is quite good, November, and here we have in December starting with 1%. So for now, at least the past 5 months, the result has been promising. For the drawdown, you can expect to have a little bit drawdown here and there, so that is quite normal for any grid and robot type. But the question is, will this continue for the long term? That is the question that need to be asked. So for the trading history, I noticed that the good thing is on a daily basis, he only have maybe 3 to 4 trade at a time. So you can see on average, he had 3 or 4 trade at a time. That means this robot is not like the typical grid that will open infinite number of transactions. And for the martingale, you can see this will increase if it requires a bit of recovery. That's why this will increase. But I don't know why at this point he increased the deposit, or he deposited this money to his account. So this is a little bit this is a little bit mystery around this robot. We need to test it on demo for some time and then decide whether you want to go with this robot or not. For the statistic, we have 122 trades. The best trade is equal to the worst trade. That means risk to reward ratio is quite similar, and average profit is better than average loss with small amount of percentage. So for us, what we need to look for it is basically how many trades we can anticipate. So for a week, you can see that you might have 6 trades on average, and the recovery factor is quite high because it uses a recovery method of martingale. Anticipated annual forecast is 294%. That is a huge amount of return for any investor that speak the number can understand that this is quite abnormal. This is the robot on the dashboard, Quantum King. Unfortunately, my account is kinda new, so I don't have much history or account history to show you because I just recently added this into my robots and my collection. So let me just give you an overview over the set. You can change the magic number. You can also modify the comment, which these are 2 important things because some people might want to use it for props or whatever is the reason you want to use it. And I think the money management is quite interesting because here it shows you the number of, I think this is the deposit. So if you have this deposit, you can use this risk level and initial balance. This showcases that this robot has some advantage when it comes to the setting. So you can adjust the grid, you can adjust the majority where you want to trade, permitted days, the unpermitted days. So you have a news filter, which is quite good. The setting, the robot is quite amazing because honestly, this is not a regular martingale and grid that will just open unlimited and stupid trade. Instead, this will focus on some algorithm. Honestly, it is not really clear whether this is trend following strategy or this is just depending on some price action or indicators. It has not been identified. So guys, as usual, we always have pro and cons regarding any robot that you have. No matter how strong or how weak the robot is, there is always going to be some advantage and disadvantage. So number one advantage with this robot is we have a live result at least within 5 months, which is good. The vendor is using his own money to prove that this robot is working. I know it is not the best thing that he put low amount of money into his account, but it is what it is. And also we have really adaptive and I would say advanced dashboard of the settings, so you can control on many input. For example, the money management, the magic number, the comment, and the filters. We also have a news filter with this robot, so all of these are considered as an advantage. On the contrary, unfortunately, anytime the robot is using grid or any recovery method, we consider it as a disadvantage because this one has been always considered as a risky method. I mean, everything in Forex is risky. It doesn't matter if you are using any technique, it is still risk associated with that method. However, this specific topic where it comes to grid and martingale, it is shown by some people that this is a risky method. So this is the number one problem with this robot. And the second thing, I see there are multiple transaction or multiple deposit and withdrawal with this vendor live signal. So I really don't know whether he did this on purposely or because whether this needed or whether this was necessary to maintain his drawdown because his initial deposit were quite low. So this is my main 2 observation about this robot. If you have anything else, you can comment it on this video and tell me about your opinion. But I think that this robot has 3 out out of 5, I believe this is the fair rate for this robot, and we also need more live data to see whether this is actually working or not. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you for watching.